Hello, this is Sugarbush here, and now today, along with showing you the basic editing, I'm going to show you guys how to model. We're going to do modeling right now. So first things first, you got to download Sketchup Pro from God7's website. I'm going to show you. Now I'm only going to give you the link to his YouTube channel. I'm not going to give you a direct link because you have to, so I don't steal credit. Now we have had a license. He does have a license. But yeah, he does have a license key for Sketchup 8. Okay, he has a license key for it. Now we can start using Sketchup, and I'll show you guys how to do this. Once you've set up the plugins and the totally legit modeling tutorial, the first thing you want to do is go here, right-click it, click on Erase. Unless you have a delete button, backspace will not work. Let me save it as tutorial model. Let me save it in tutorial folder. Give my tutorial folder. That's great. Tutorial model. Now, okay, so here's the first thing you want to do. If you want to rotate, say, click on that button. You don't want to right click. You want to left click. And oh, by the way, if you want to zoom in, like, say I'll double click here. It takes me up there. It goes to the center of where my mouse was. If you want to go to the center of where this is located at, simply double click it where it's at. See that? Okay. So anyway, so the first thing the start of a good model always starts off with a square. It's a basic thing. Let me show you how I did that. So we click on a point. Just click anywhere. Okay. And wait until this shows up and click anywhere else. Now there's a square. Now, as you can see, let me show you one thing. Let me show you. So that's a gray face. As you can see, that's gray. This is white. We want this side to be gray. This means that side is a back face. Trust me, you only want to export the back faces. Or I guess you could export the front faces because, there's a reason. I'll show you something else on what I figured out pretty recently. So anyway, gotta go back here. Gotta go back. Let's just make another square, for example. Now, if you wanna make it like that's a square. As you can see, watch this. A square. There. That means it's a perfect square. So anyway, here's the cool part. Click on this button. You push/pull. It's really extrude. I call it extrude. You can extrude it either up or down. But I'm going to extrude it up about that much. Now, I need to make that square a little bit bigger. Or I need to make it big. Now we can create a circle. So, okay, click at any point. Move it out. The distance between the center point and the point you're about to click on is the radius. Okay, you see that? Okay. Now I'm gonna extrude this circle a ways up. In fact, I'm gonna extrude this a little bit down. This square a little bit down. Extrude it down. Oh, actually, by the way, I want to show you one more thing, guys. If you ever want to get the distance between doors, I'll show you how to do that later. I had to figure that out on my own. But yeah, basically. Yeah, so here we go. This is the circle. Now, when you're happy with everything, which I'm not quite yet. I'm not quite happy with everything yet. I'm just making some stuff. I'm just gonna make some random shapes and all that. Make some random shapes right now. Okay. Now, once you're happy with everything. Oh, here's a really cool thing too. Watch this. Wait, no, that's not right. Watch that. That looks cool, eh? But although it can be quite a problem, however. It's quite hard to control where it goes. Let me say we want to go over there. Look at that. That's pretty awesome, eh? Let me show you that one more time. So click on one of these points and drag it. It drags everything that's connected to it. It will drag everything that is connected to it. It drags literally everything that's connected to it will be dragged towards that direction. And now, as you can see, let me just check something really quickly. That looks correct. Let me move this point as well to over here, maybe. See what that looks like. This is kind of complicated, guys, by the way. This is a little bit complex. Slightly complex. Now let me move this in a little bit. Is that about right? Perfect. That looks good. And now I'm also going to just experiment with this a little bit. That's great. And then... Oh, wow. That looks pretty awesome. That looks cool, guys. Don't you think that looks pretty cool? Okay. Let me show you that one more time. Let me undo. Well, let me show you just how you do that. Oh, with this square... Okay. If you guys were listening to that video, hopefully you guys figured out how to do that. Okay? Hopefully you guys figured it out. It's just like you click on a point and drag it, and everything connected to it will move. everything that's connected to this point will move. Will be stretched or whatever you call it, will be moved. Everything that is connected to the point will move along with it, will be stretched out and squeezed or whatever, or resized or something. Okay? Now, when you're happy with this, now you go to fill. It's time to start making the textures. Now, as you can see, there's some asphalt and concrete. Just look at some of these guys. You don't want to go in model because there's nothing really in model yet. Asphalt and concrete. I'm going to color this. No, I want to color it with, let's go to vegetation. Because this is Bob on Battlefield I'm going to replace. Trust me, you only want to replace Bob on Battlefield. If you're going to replace a different model, import its XML. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Let me also go, so let me show you that one more time. Click on this, fill that in. I'm also going to fill the front face in as well. I'm sure exporting front faces won't really be a problem. Let me do all this. Let me color all that in. Color that all in. Color all this in. Now I'm sure I can get this. I'm sure it should work. Now if we try to import a model, you're going to see what happens in just a second. If we try to, trust me. I mean, we don't need to flip it across the axis at all. I don't think we need to flip it across the axis like God7 says. What I actually am going to do is something different to prevent something from happening. So anyway, we're going to make this in ground. We're going to put that as ground. Make this like that. As you can see, I'm just filling stuff in, really. Whoa, that looks pretty cool. This looks. I might actually use this model in my ROM hack. I might actually want to use this. I'm gonna create a bigger model, guys. So when I'm done, I'll show you guys. When I'm done, I will show you guys what the model looks like. So here, I'm just gonna finish up filling these things in. Then I'll skip ahead to where. Then we'll skip ahead to where I finished the model. Okay. No, I actually want to show you guys. I think we'll just leave the model like this. I think I'm just going to leave this is a simple model. Fairly simple model, at least. No, what's wrong with the circle? We have not colored that in yet. I'm going to color it in with this. Color it with vegetation bark maple. And then this one wants to be, I'm going to color that one in with that. Perfect. Now, when you're happy with your model, I'm not quite done yet. I'm not quite done yet. I'm going to move like this point over a little bit. Let's see what happens if I try to move it over there. Let's see what happens there. Whoa, that's cool. Yeah, look at this. It's pretty cool, eh? Move this over there. See what happened there. Whoa, it's definitely not quite right. Okay, let's undo both of those. Okay, that's good enough. I think that's going to be good enough. Well, when you're happy, you could export it this way. You could export it this way, but trust me, that's not a good way to do it. If you want to import the collision map, you go to Plugins OBJ Exporter. It's a better way to do it. Now, you could uncheck this, and if you want to export the front faces, you can. It won't be a problem. I'll show you what the problem is in just a second. So you export front and back faces. Let me go. Yeah, we want to make a tutorial model. I want to export it right there. Export OBJ file. Now it says exported. You want to see what I clicked there. Just make sure you guys know. Now, go back to tutorial model. Let me open this file location so I can view my tutorial model. Now, we got an OBJ file and an MTL file. The MTL file tells the OBJ file what textures to read. But these JPEGs are not going to work with the editor. So let's go to .jpeg. Let's search up any of these JPEG images. Let me edit these guys. Let me just edit them. I'm going to image resize them. Resize with, that would be 32 by 16. I'm going to call that. Oh, wait, I want to export them. Oh, sorry, no, I meant to save as. This is paint.net. You could use regular paint. I'll just save them as BMP. You want to save them either as BMP or PNG. Either one or the other. Doesn't matter. But the transparent images will already be PNG images. Trust me on that. Okay. I'm going to save as a PNG image. Or, sorry, BMP. I want to save it as BMP. Do it for every texture. And then watch what happens. There might be something that could happen. And I'll tell you guys what it is. If it doesn't happen, then I'll tell you guys what might happen. It's possible it will happen, but I know how to fix it. If it happens. It's usually for more complicated models. I think it's usually for more complicated models. It usually what happens is a little error in the model. But it's just a little. Let me show you. Okay, so once you've done exporting those textures, we got to tell the model to read these certain files. So we got there. You could just replace all these JPEGs with BMPs, but it's a shortcut. Edit, replace, Well, you want to select .jpeg because otherwise we're going to place those JPEGs. We don't want to replace these JPEGs. We're just doing .jpeg with .bmp. Watch what happens. If I just do JPEG with BMP, it'll replace these ones as well. So I'm going to undo that. Undo that. Yeah. Okay, now we go back to edit, replace .jpeg with .bmp, and then it will only replace these files, as you can see. Now these are not replaced. Okay, now after you're done, save it. And now you can go into the editor. It should work. Oh, yeah, I want to use the older version of the editor, slightly older. No, I mean, you can... Okay, so when we go into Bob on Battlefield, there's a potential chance that it might give a little error. So what I recommend doing first is removing all the objects. Now, if we try to remove all the warps and save it, it's going to give you this error. That's because you need to have at least one entrance. You gotta have at least one entrance. You must have, and let's remove all the path nodes and all the views. A 3D model. You go to import level model, load, external model, navigate to your model. Let's see what happens. Yeah, and as you can see, some of these planes are cut off. The reason? Uncheck that. Let me uncheck this and watch what happens. See, now everything's found. Look, it says strongly recommended, but don't do that. Watch. Some of the planes will be cut off. Look at this. Look at how crappy look at how messy that model looks. You want to uncheck that. Uncheck convert to tri-strips. You want to do that, as you can see. Now let me just make sure. Yeah, the collision map looks just fine. Yeah, the collision map, none of the planes will get cut off. Okay, you see that? Now, if you don't know what collision types to assign, my recommendation is assigning each one a different collision type. That's my recommendation. Especially if they're like complicated. Now, you don't need to assign default material to anything. Where's the... Yeah, there's default material, but we don't need to assign that to anything. Okay. So anyway, when we're done with that, oh, that's a default material right there. I forgot to texture that guy in. Looks like I forgot to texture him in. Well, I'll retexture it. It looks like I forgot to texture that guy in. But it looks about the right scale. So as you can see, it found everything. Remember, uncheck that. That is really necessary. When you're done with the collision map, let me just assign these collision types. You want to assign these collision types and type in a number and say assign. I'm not going to get much into... will show you guys how to use collision types. So when you're done with that, import model and collision map. The collision map, trust me, the collision map will work fine. You want to import the model and collision map. And as you can see, luckily, this entrance looks just about the right place. Now, let's see what happens. Like this, let me show you. So if we go to the collision map, you do not... Well, let me export the XML first, just for a second. Level 6, bob. I'm just going to export it as level 6. Now let's edit the collision map and try to... Like, say you want to change some of these collision types and then you go import collision map. Trust me, that's not going to work. You want to know why? Some of these planes start looking weird. That's why I exported the XML so I could undo those changes. Quick access, level 6, bob. And now the collision map should be just fine. Now the collision map should be just fine. Now the collision map is fine. Okay, did you see that? And now... we go, and like I said, right-click to rotate, left-click to move, and drag. You also want to drag it as well. So, now once you've done this, let's see, do we want to do anything else? I want to show you guys how, like, we can add some objects in this. We got to add some stuff in here. So I'm going to add, like, a teleportation source. Well, actually, I'm going to make a little, what do I want to do? Well, how do we get up here? This is a little bit crooked. Make like a little pathway. That's gonna be like a path text. So, okay, right. So, note down these collision types. You want to like write these collision types down. 3, 4. So number 4, I want number 4 to act like... Let's see, I want that one to act like wood. Number 4 is going to be acting like wood. So let's go back to the regular editor. Go to CLPS. Navigate to collision type 4. That's collision type number 4. This is the collision type. This is behavior. Texture is going to be... What is it? I can't remember. Is it 3? Weirdly texture... There we go. 5. Now, we want to... I'd recommend setting this back to 63. I gotta set the camera type to 0, because you don't want to mess with the camera types yet. Behavior. We don't want to set any behavior at all. Although, you could make, like... Let me show you a couple things. 7, it'll say slow quicksand, along with 8. Trust me. 7 means the quicksand, slow quicksand that only sinks you to about halfway. 8 means the bottomless quicksand. The bottomless slow quicksand that'll sink you until you die. Do you see that? Now, I'm not going to make it quicksand at all. I'm not going to make any quicksand. Now, 9 is instant quicksand. And now, oh, one other thing. If you want to make 11, it says weird surface. But trust me, that triggers the wind animation. It will trigger the wind. It triggers the wind. I've looked at examples of it, and as long as you do the path ID. So anyway, let's go to wait, do we want collision type number 3 to be? Let me check the grass stuff. Let me see what collision. Wow. Okay. Collision type number 3 is the grass. We want that to be grassy. What is that collision type? Number 1. We want number 1 is going to be wood again. What is this one? I think this one's going to be path textured. Check collision. Also make collision at number 0 path textured surface. Okay, so collision at number 0 is going to be path textured surface. That means 1. Number 2. Well, this one, do we want? Yeah, we want grassy surface. 2 is 5. This might want to be path. Can't remember. Is it number 2? Let me check. One more thing really quickly. Okay, so is this? I think that one's collision at number 1, and that's collision at is this one. Number 2. Okay, so once you're done with the collision types, okay, save the changes. Now it's time to test our model out. Okay, time to test it out. Now I'm gonna name it back to Alex Hack, so I don't have to go through so I do not have to go through the introduction. Okay, so name it to Alex Hack. Now I've got a save slot, and now let's watch this. Now as you can see, okay.
It's me, Mario!
I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. There, better, much better. Now watch this. You're gonna see the castle grounds look normal, but watch this. When we go into Bob on Battlefield, okay, so I'll show you guys what happens. Okay? Now, I don't know why it goes through this animation every time. Probably because I enabled those cheats or something. I'm gonna have to go through that every time. Okay, anyway. Go into the castle. Whoops. Okay, let me go here. This is where Bob on Battlefield is located. Go to Bob on Battlefield. Okay? Go into painting. Turn this down a little bit so you guys can hear me. Okay, watch this. Here's where the magic happens. It should be able to work. And as you can see, it worked. But the view looks very off. I'll show you what to do there. The view looks extremely off. The view looks very off. So here, everything. Hear this sound. Anyway, these will sound. The walking will sound different depending on different collision types. That's what the texture means. Okay? So anyway, we gotta get that view to be correct. I'll show you guys how to do that. Not that editor. Go to this editor. Let's see what happens. Super Mario. Let me just make sure my recording is still going. Yes, it is It is still going. Still going now. We go back to Bob on Battlefields. Get this entrance. Look at the view ID. This should be. No, we gotta go to. This is the view ID. I can't remember which one's the view ID. I think this is the view ID right there. But anyway, we add our view. Add it right there. Make it a little bit higher. Now this is. It's gonna face from here. The perspective will be here, and it'll be facing towards there. Okay. Now it's attempt to. Now if we try to load our slot, it's gonna say that because it'll act as if we didn't edit it. So we just changed the ROM. Okay. So you can't just simply load slot back. Trust me, it's not gonna work.
It's me, Mario.
Okay. Anyway, get back to Bob on Battlefield. As you can see, the view should be able to work. Yeah, and I'll show you guys pretty much after this. So after this test out, I think we're gonna be done there, but I just want to show you guys how the view works. Okay, how the view is gonna work. I like the long jump to get, which of course is much faster. I do like the long jump. There we go. Big bubble on the side. Let's find out what happens. Now, okay, now the view works correctly. As you can see, its views up much closer. Look at that. Views up a lot closer, right? Now, you can just look at this model, and I'll add some other objects later. But anyway, I think that's it for this tutorial. Bye.